Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to another show of Riff and Refine. We have a delightful surprise. This is our first full party here on the show. There's 4 people hanging out. We've got Shane. There it is. We've got Shane. We've got Simon, aka the Native PHP boys. We are looking forward to this chat today. But before we get started, I have a question. Who is Jeff, and why does he have your last name?
Oh my God! Instant regret. I sent him the link to this.
Is that your dad? Please tell me
it's my dad. It's my dad.
Yes.
Hey, Shane's dad.
Rosenthal.
I'm like, oh God! As soon as I opened it up, I'm like, oh man.
Love.
It's that. It's that love.
That is so awesome. All right.
No, he's cool.
Well,
he
go ahead.
Got me into development actually, and that's
okay.
I could tell you about all that stuff if you want to.
Please do. Another one. Welcome, Miguel. We have Africa representing. I had to look up where Cameroon was because being from Alabama, I'm not Mr. International, but we have Simon
culture.
who is off the coast of Africa. So we had somebody coming in hot from Africa as well. Oh, and Brazil. Hello, Afonso. Wow, what a fun show. All right.
Glad to have you all here.
Yeah.
What a
What have
Friday.
we been up to? Josh, why don't you kick things off? Tell me what you've been up to last week.
Yeah, glad to be here and glad to have both Shane and Simon, the S's, the SNS of the native world. But yeah, glad to have everyone in the chat as well. This is fun. I'm glad that we do this. But yeah, I'll answer your question. What have I been up to this week? I feel like my week has been absolutely crazy in the sense that I have been almost fully devoted to finishing up a course for what we're going to be launching soon within Laravel called Laravel Learn.
Ooh, what's that?
And Laravel Learn is more
About
like
it,
a web page on Laravel website. Laravel.com/learn is what it will be. That houses these micro courses, if you will.
Nice.
So I have been trucking away on the updated Laravel boot camp. And so everything's completed, everything's edited, everything's recorded. It's just a lot of double checking everything and making sure I don't make any typos or mistakes. It's going to be a written and video course, and I'm pumped for it. But it is a lot of work.
They got the right guy for the job.
Yeah, hopefully. And the good thing is I'm learning so much. This isn't going to be the first or only course on the platform. Christoph is doing one for when we launch as well, but then there's going to be more in the future. And so it's like, I'm looking forward to what does this mean in like, how am I taking notes to make the next course easier.
Even easier to do. That seems to be
Yeah.
your theme. You seem to be a man of automating processes. I have noticed, and mostly like, especially with like your recording flow. I was listening to a podcast last week with Brian. I'm gonna blank on his last name. I've got it right here. Brian Castle. And he was talking, Brian Castle was talking about how like he's been getting into YouTube a lot, and he's getting a lot of like real leads and all this kind of stuff for the first time from a lot of his things that he's been building. It just feels like complete strangers are finding him. The only problem he was talking about was like the effort that goes into producing and putting out a single video is just so like exponentially higher than like any other marketing channel that he's tried. Even though it works, it's just an incredible amount of effort.
Oh yeah, 100%. And yeah, I like Emma said, we are, not me, we are bringing back the boot camp. And the good thing is there's a lot of good like look backs. I don't know what the word I'm thinking. There's a lot of good reminiscent ideas of the boot camp. So it's building the app that the boot camp was building.
Was there something before this, like a boot camp that existed in the past?
Yes, there was. And the only reason that doesn't exist anymore is because it used the old version of Laravel authentication starter, which was Laravel Breeze. And so it was a text-based boot camp. And so this is a text-based and video-based boot camp. And so that was where it was something new for me to start it off by writing and then record video. I am not a good writer, but I'm getting better now.
I was about to say, I've noticed you've talked in the past how you just your flow is usually just to go for it. Like you just you just jump right in and just like I think you think about what you want to say, but then you just kind of wing it. Look at all this.
I have literally like recorded a video and then taken that and be like, oh, that's what I want to say, and then typed it out because it works better for me somehow. I don't know. My brain is weird.
Well, let's kick it over to Simon. Actually, I have a quick question before I find out what you've been up to this week. I want to know who designed y'all's logo. It's so good. I really like it.
Kaneko did it. Ages ago.
Okay, I think I remember that. I think I remember him tweeting or it being tweeted or mentioned right after Laravel EU at the beginning of the year.
I think he teased. I can't remember the timing. I need to go back, but it was like he actually teased. So the native PHP logo he did like back in 2023, just before Laracon US, and he'd done like 4, 5, or 6 logos for products that were being announced at Laracon that year.
Yeah.
He just got like this grid of logos that he'd made. It was and they were all great. But yeah, I was stuck with it. And now it's on hats and t-shirts. Now it's on hats and everything.
It's crazy.
Why don't you tell us what you've been up to?
This week, gosh, I'm still doing so many things that I shouldn't be doing. Not in a bad way, but
that sounds exciting.
Yeah. No, it's not. I've still got like client work, so I've been doing like contract work for a while. And NativePHP is like banging at the door trying to get me to come and do stuff. Well, it's mainly Shane banging at the door trying to get me to do stuff.
And it's only because I don't have his face to bang, just to get his attention.
Ooh la la. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of that this week because not to like, this is not drama. I was in hospital last week and I've lost a lot of time over the last couple of weeks. Just being a bit not well. So I'm trying to catch up, which is not fun, but yeah.
Perfect. Shane, what you up to?
Right now?
Yeah. This last week, what you been doing?
This last week.
I see a 3D printer going on behind you.
We messaged a little bit about that last week. It's the same, I think, that you guys have, the P1P, the Bamboo Labs.
Yes.
I don't use it the way you probably are seeking to use it, though, or like most people do. I don't design stuff. I go on the Bamboo Labs store and I hit print and I get these cool little, You
That's
too?
what Josh was telling me he was doing. I was in line at Legoland and I just printed something and it was waiting. Like I let the girls pick something and it just printed while we were gone.
It's awesome. It's all we did this this little like I don't have all the pieces, but I did like this little like It's a switchblade thing.
Oh,
Pretty cool.
Ooh, yeah.
The front, it's I didn't get the front. I did. It's a whole story there, but it's like a Nintendo Switch front face, thing. So it looks like a Nintendo Switch controller.
Like a little controller.
It's kind of
Okay.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my son was just like, let's do that. I'm like, all right, let's do it. Why not? And he gets to learn stuff.
That's what I'm like hoping is like I can get the kids involved, because if there's like one thing that I want to instill in my kids is that if they like have an idea for something, they can just try to do it. And like we can figure out a way to make it happen.
Yep.
Because I think that was like growing up, that was like my one unlock in college. Like I never really did any type of like projects or work or anything, but then in college, like my degree was in industrial design, and one of the courses our instructors made us try to sell something on Etsy, and as part of like our design coursework. And that was like the biggest unlock and like what really got me going on all this like entrepreneurial, come up with your own projects, just like share things with people, is like that one project and selling stuff, like getting my first sale on Etsy for something that I just like decided on a whim to come up with. I'm like, I want to like get my kids that feeling as early as possible to be like, I want to make things and just put it out in the world.
Capitalism.
Capitalism, creativity.
Yeah, if you can make money off of it, that's always better. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you? I don't know who this is, but you might have better memory of it than me. There was some story of this guy who was like very, very creative, very sciencey, and there was some hoax about his kid being swept up in some like spaceship that they'd made out of foil.
I just saw this on Netflix.
Yeah,
I've never.
I'm not
heard this
kidding.
once.
This was like what was it on? It was like a some tragedy, whatever it was. He went up like 10,000 feet. I didn't see the end of it. I think I fell asleep. Oh no!
Interesting.
Like they made something, like they legit made
A
something.
UFO
They-
with like
they
helium, and it had a
actually-
basket under it. And
exactly. Yeah.
it had like these like 20 or 30 foot hooks. It was just supposed to go up in their yard, and they were going to bring it back down, but it went up and they kept going. And then one of the kids recording the video was like, "Where's whatever the kid's name was?" And he's like, "No, he's got it on video," and showed his dad. So I had to call the cops and chase the balloon for miles and miles. And yeah,
That
I
is
guess
wild.
We need more of that.
So
in the world.
note to self: don't do everything. Have some reasonable, sane limits.
Oh man.
That was
crazy.
a wild show. But the spirit of like making stuff, and that definitely take that from it.
it reminds me of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Do you guys remember this?
Goodness, that is like one of the like best movies. That one, and have y'all ever heard of Bed
Knobs and Broomsticks? Yes. Yes, dude. I think
Both
we had the
of
same
those
childhood.
movies. Oh my goodness, those movies were just like, I heard
Amazing.
somebody commenting about it where like, I've not watched this in like decades, and I rewatched. I don't remember which one it was, and they're like, I'm pretty sure the people who were like making this movie were high on stuff. Like, and I'm like, no wonder we were so into it. As like, it was just like it's just absolute insanity on those movies.
Capitalism.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason says Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
Swoon.
Sweet.
Yep.
That soccer match. I know exactly what you're talking
I
about.
remember. Yeah.
The
The kid had the
some good
bed knob
movies.
the whole time, and he's
Oh, yeah.
trying to get her attention. And yeah, that's so funny.
There we go. Capitalism. Lemonade to aliens.
There you go.
Great idea.
There you go. €1.
Speaking of creativity and just doing anything, y'all just decided to put PHP on mobile. I want to know. We're not going to spend like the entire time, maybe not even most of the time, but I am very curious. One of the thoughts that I had was just like, why? Like what? What
Why-
was that like
I have a
thing that
question.
triggered?
Why is that
We're
the
gonna
question?
try
I hear this often.
Do
And
you
why?
hear that? Okay.
Yeah, I wonder why. Why do you think why? Why is that one of
There
your
you
first
go.
questions?
Let's riff on it.
All right. I think the reason I want to know is that I like to know like the process, like the thought processes behind how things get started. because I like to start things. Now, this may be an indication for my lack of finishing a lot of things because I don't actually ask how things are going once they're made.
It's irrelevant.
But it is so, I don't know, like it's like the origin story for things is just very, very intriguing because I think it puts in people this like idea of like, oh, like that's how they did it. Let me try to capture a seed of that. Like, how can I hear what they've said and try to do something like that for myself, you know?
Here's the reason why.
True story? I don't know.
Yeah, always. We don't tell lies
on,
here on the
Josh.
show.
Here's the reason why I want to know why. Like, usually when someone asks you the question, JupaScript.
Well, that just made me laugh. I had to throw that.
I was like, got sidetracked there.
Yeah.
Usually when someone asks you the question why, it's usually like, why are you being an idiot and trying to do something that's dumb? And why would anyone want to do this? And usually the good answer for that, like I think Aaron Francis has like a popular blog post that he just responds to troll comments with. It's because I wanted to. But my why, and I think Will's why too, all of our whys here on this Riff and Refine show and in the chat probably is less of why would you and more of a why did you start so late? Like what happened that made it now instead of when you first had an idea?
Oh, wait, did you have this idea a long time?
That's a good question.
By the way, I'm very out of the loop. I'm not actually like a PHP boy, so to speak. I'm a recent addition to the community. So how long is this? How long has this been around? No, it's not. Which, but Josh said this, you took so long. The JupaScript show. How long ago?
I don't know any JupaScript.
I will say we both have very different kind of stories and maybe perspectives for the origin, but it really started with Simon. So I think he should start, and I can jump in with when I came into things.
Well, I'm going to say, I think everybody who's been doing anything in PHP for the last maybe 10 years has probably thought, wouldn't it be great if just for a brief moment, and then they probably talked themselves out of it, going, nah, PHP wasn't meant to do that, or it's going to be too crazy hard, or it's the wrong language for all sorts of reasons. I'm the fool who actually went ahead with it anyway and didn't talk myself out of it. Is that good enough why? So I've basically wanted to have this for such a long time because I learned one language and I'm happy with that, you know, English. No, PHP.
Barely.
So yeah, hey you,
African, Spanish.
No, still don't know Spanish. So yeah, I remember vividly like trying to figure out JavaScript back in the day when I learned PHP first, and I was like, man, this is weird, and they're actually really similar. And I was just like, I can't get my head around this. This is too hard. And I remember thinking then, like, well, I know PHP. Why can't I build everything in PHP? And now we're actually in the time when you kind of can run PHP in the browser as well. You know, like it's possible to use PHP instead of JavaScript. And it's like, cool. But I still can't build apps with PHP. Like I can build web apps and I can ship them to servers and stuff, but I can't write code that really builds a robust cross-platform application. Right. And that really irked me because I really, really like using PHP. And I've been using Laravel since version 4.2, I think. And I really, really, really like using Laravel to build applications. I know I'm just always late to the game. But
Shane, what's your number? You've been in
beta. No, 3.9. I started.
Literally 0.1 before.
No, 3 points. Yeah,
3 points.
Sorry,
same month.
I just that's so funny.
Yeah. I mean, Laravel hasn't been capable of, to answer your question, Joss, I don't think Laravel's really been capable of doing something like this until more recently. its flexibility and sort of power has come out in the last couple of years, especially. The I just, well, if I'm being really, really honest with everybody, I don't think it would have been possible for me to do it in
Okay.
like more than last year, because of AI. You know,
Right.
like
Right.
I was able
I
to crunch
wondered.
down on that hard
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
get it cranked out, which was amazing. So, yep, couldn't have done it without that.
I think that is the case for a lot of things. Not because I think AI is necessarily like some like expert programmer replace everyone type thing, but there is something about you were probably capable of this before, but what you
Yeah.
weren't capable of perhaps is like being able to like fit it in because of the amount of time and effort it would have taken to get up to speed on the new domains. And what
Yeah.
AI did for you was shorten that time horizon of like, oh, I can get up to speed on this other domain that I've never touched before in a short enough period that this seems feasible enough to like get the ball rolling and you to just dive in and go for it.
100% that. I mean, like there was a ton of things that I just didn't know, and I know what I would have done 5 or 6 years ago to do this is a lot of googling, a lot of reading, really shoddy material
I was gonna
that's
say
leading me
not
down a
great
garden
material.
path. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then figuring it out for ages on my own, basically, or trying to find like that one person over in the corner of the internet who's done something remotely similar to this one time,
Right.
you know, and going, please help me, and then finding out that they don't do this anymore, and they're like, you know, carving little bits of wood into silhouettes of their friends because they've just found a better life for themselves, and it's like, maybe that's what I should be doing.
Whoa.
So, but yeah,
Yes,
exactly. Yes, it is
100%.
pro AI.
It is.
Yeah.
This is like the perfect example of where AI actually makes a massive difference. Is exactly what you're talking about, which is like crossing domains and
Mhm.
being able to be an integration point across like two separate ideas.
That's a
That
great
before
point.
it's like, okay, how do I connect these two ideas? Well, either you've got to do all of the work for like testing and playing and figuring out how this could potentially work, hope somebody else has done it and that you find them like you were saying, or with AI, what it gives you the ability to like iterate on the integration points with new systems so much faster because you can just it can what's the word I'm looking for? Not It can focus, like it can take a whole bunch of information and parse it and focus it into like a very specific shape that you're asking about, and that's just not like what we as humans are good at. We're good at the exact opposite almost. Like we're good at taking small ideas and like trying a bunch of different things from them instead of filtering a ton of information.
Yeah, but the thing that it's got going for it is, you know, even when I started picking this up, is it had been trained on most of the internet at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So the corpus of material was huge. Like I'm never going to have all of that in my brain. And then on top of it, it's like this attenuated search. So it's like not just surfacing the material that I'm asking it for, it's also, as you're saying, Will, it's kind of digesting it into these other pieces that it's actually I'm using it to learn. You know, I'm using it to learn about this stuff very, very rapidly, and just like the bits that I need to know.
Right. Exactly.
To
Exactly.
make this thing
yes.
work.
100%. Oh, that's like the
Amazing
best
for
part.
that.
Like it's like a just-in-time compiler for knowledge.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
When I think of what you have started to do and like AI being that tool for it, then Shane, you kind of come along. Then what is your thought process then of have you been thinking of this in terms of the future and what's absolutely possible, or is it, and I think both are valid answers, or is it more of like a, hey, I know that this is needed right now, and regardless of what happens in the future with tech, with AI, with PHP embeddings, whatever that might be, it's still something that's doable and necessary right now. What was your thought process of jumping into that, and then where did your story kind of evolve?
That is a perfect question for me. So it's one I couldn't have hoped a better targeted question. So my origin story on the whole thing, 2023, Nashville, Tennessee, Marcel Posio talking about native PHP. When I first saw the title, I was 4 or 5 months short of having major back surgery. I had a fusion. I have screws, titanium screws in my back, and I was writhing in pain. This was the last day of Laracon. I was a little bit dehydrated, probably had a headache, and just really wanted to go back to the room and crash. And I did right after his talk, but it was enough to spur me on a little bit more to watch it. And I actually, admittedly, missed Aaron Francis's talk. And I had just come off from a 3-year stint with Pfizer, and all the Pfizer guys were kind of there. And they're like, I can't believe you missed it. It would have been perfect for you and where I'm at in life and all this stuff. But the whole notion or the whole concept of, I thought native PHP meant, because like React Native, native script meant mobile. I thought that's what they had figured out.
Yeah,
and so I was like, oh my God, these guys are going to be freaking rockstar rich. They got Laravel to make, and I'm very capitalism, right? I'm very entrepreneuristic or whatever. And
I changed the title of the episode to capitalism.
There you go. Capitalism. So like I was immediately like this is incredible. It's going to add so much to my resume, what I'm capable of doing. The fact that I can use Laravel to create mobile apps unlocks so much more potential for me as a freelancing client, or for my clients as a freelancer. So immediately I was drawn into it. Fast forward 2 long years, basically. Actually, I guess it was the next year. I had met Simon here and there. We talked about some things. But the next year in Dallas, we became more friends. And like, we just have a vibe, I guess. If anyone's been around the two of us at the same time, they'll pick up on it right away. Everyone sees it. Everyone else has seen it. He's my brother from another mother kind of thing. And I won't hold his Britishness against him. I would say I don't, but I actually do. So no, really. These freaking Brits.
What about his British? What about his Britishness?
Oh God! Don't get me started.
Don't get him started.
Don't get me started.
Oh, here's what I think, Simon. I just saw you pull a PHP hat, and then you had a native PHP hat, and I'm just waiting for you to pull off like the full British, like lawyer wig next, and like you've just got like these
the
outfits.
Queen's crown.
I think I've got one of those here somewhere.
It's
awesome.
in his back pocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Go ahead, Shane.
No problem. So Simon and I started a podcast. We immediately, right after Laracon, we wanted to do something together. We didn't know what it was. We had no idea. Mm-hmm. We had a lot of really, what I look back now on the conversations we had were really like, we were really finding out a lot about what motivates each other, what turns us on in terms of like business or kinds of projects we like to work with, or just like really understanding at a very personal, deeper kind of level, some of these things that ultimately would make for a great partnership of a business anyway. And like, it wasn't the intention at the time. It was really just bros hanging out, and just, we would talk for hours about stuff. And then that turned into like, we should do a podcast. Like this conversation, I would like to watch this, right? Like I would like to do this kind of thing. And so we did. We started a podcast with our friend Stephen Fox, the Bucket. And that kind of gave us an opportunity. If you go back to watch the first, 20 episodes or something of that, you could see a lot of like the relationship starting to develop, and some of these ideas starting to swirl around a little bit. And it's kind of interesting to go back and take a look at those. But he told us off air that his talk for Laracon EU was accepted. And I was like, my eyebrows went through my head, right? Like I was like, what are you talking about? And it was,
they really did. Those are fake now. They're not real.
They're sticking out. And they haven't gone down since, because it was about mobile. He figured out mobile, and with PHP, and immediately was like, what are you talking about? I was immediately very excited. And I mean, going into like personal stuff about me too, I just came off the couch for 6 months. I got divorced right after the back surgery. Got divorced, 6 months on the couch. And I was very much in a place of like, I'm sick of trying to please everybody and everything and trying to be there for everyone but myself. And I'm really only going to pay attention to one thing moving forward, and that's excitement. If I don't feel excitement about something, I'm going to be very reluctant to do it. I'll do things that I have to do, of course, but
sure.
I'm looking for something, right? Well, that's debatable, but yeah. So this was like, I jumped right in, and I immediately was like, and I've started some other SaaS kind of things in the past, and it was all with the entrepreneurial kind of like, how do I make money? How do I increase MRR? How do I do things?
Yep.
This was the only time, the first time at least, that I started working on this because I asked Simon a question, the response he gave me. I asked him, what, if you're going to be charging people money for this, because I helped him with his talk and like, looking, I let him rehearse with me a couple times and stuff. But I'm like, if you're going to be charging people, they're not going to want to just pay for iOS. What about Android? And he was like, I don't know, man. It's going to be 6 months or a year. I'll get to it when I get to it. It's just not in the pipeline at all. And for like 2 days, that ate at me. And I would just keep coming back to that. And I was like, I got to help. And so I used AI and I started like just asking the questions, and I started asking him some questions here and there, like, well, how long did it take you to figure this part out? And what kind of extensions are in, and he just like got on a call with me one day and he was like, so are you like doing the Android thing? And I was like, yeah. He's like, are you trying to compete with me? Or I'm like, no, dude, I want to contribute, And he was like, we should start a company then. And
oh, I love that.
There we are. And so it was just Claude Anthropic in the browser for the longest time. I didn't pull the trigger on Claude Code for a long time. I'm kind of glad I didn't. It was a lot of copying, pasting, and stuff like that just to figure out my way through things. Claude Code has really sped things up a lot. I think there's probably like there's ways to abuse that, and I've discovered that there's ways of like just saying yes to everything kind of thing. There's also like the other extreme where I literally spent like 6 hours in plan mode just talking about through a big feature and then getting it to, and then I would let it kind of go through and start working on stuff. So it's been pivotal, I think, for me. I mean, I had no idea. Simon didn't help me at all. Like, that's, you wanted his Britishness. There you go. He was like, I don't know, bro, just figure it out, And so I did. It made me a better me though. So that's fine. No, anything I needed, I would ask him. But I mean, it was never anything like, you add this line of code. I mean, there were some times when we was like, what flags are you passing into the linking and making it smaller, the package smaller and that kind of stuff. But, he was like, I have no idea about the Android SDK at all. Like, and so I couldn't ask him for some help on a lot of things and figuring out, like, I had to figure out like the way he did things are very different than the way he ends up with these static libraries or binaries where mine are shared embedded, because Android and iOS just work differently. So I was trying to do things the way he did and it just wouldn't work. And so I had to figure that out. And, things like that.
Is there a line? So obviously at some point, the system has to diverge to the different OSs. But is there a line at which there's like a layer that is common? And like at what point is that layer? There literally isn't. It's like,
yeah, we've looked for that line. We've looked hard. And there's thoughts, I guess, swirling around what could be done. I think Simon wants to say something about this. Nope, he doesn't. All right. Never mind.
I'm just whittling away these little bits of wood while you're talking.
Do one of me.
Right
no, right from the first command, like you're specifying Android or iOS, even from the installation of the package all the way through. We have looked. There's only so many hours in a year, but We have looked. There is
a huge
yeah.
horizon.
Yeah. I don't sleep. I mean, he doesn't sleep. We don't sleep. We just keep going. But I think it's possible to use Swift in Android now, which is a very new kind of discovery. And so I haven't looked into what that could include, and maybe we could have some sort of sharedness between us. I'm not sure.
So as of right now, y'all are like operating in silos almost. Like y'all are co-founders, but y'all are basically working on different products.
No, we were for a while. We've kind of diverged, especially with Claude Code. We can say like you work on location on iOS and I'll work on location on Android because we want to have parity. Where now it's like I'll work on location. Period. I'll work on it on both sides, and he can on the other side.
I was curious because y'all seem to have this like y'all are friends, but y'all also kind of like rib each other a lot. You know, British, American, Android, iOS. I was like, did y'all just build this also into your partnership?
Right.
We just will not touch the same code.
Shane's the crazy boy who works on Android, loves doing stuff on Android, but then uses an iPhone as his daily driver. So
what?
Yeah.
I have a lot of phones.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
They're all over. I'm like, where is it? It's
right
here.
With all this like Linux talk and framework computer talk, I might be like doing the same thing with like all these computers. I'm so interested in it. No, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Stay on the light side.
Oh, but
before I have a bunch of questions about native PHP. But before we even get there, what is like something like one of the things that we do on this show, like we kind of mentioned, is we have you, the guests, say, what do you want to talk about? It can be a link.
What I was
it can be a
just about
topic.
to ask.
Synergy will. Both minds. It could be a link. It can be a topic. What is on your mind? It doesn't even have to be PHP or native related or anything. It's probably that's the only thing on your mind. Wow. What is not on your mind?
You go
There
first. I just spoke for like 6 minutes.
Of course. I mean, it was at least that, but yes.
It's later for you, so.
Yeah,
I can see the light behind
slower.
him getting darker and darker.
Yeah, and Simon chose this coming on this show instead of the beach. So yeah, we got to get him talking about what he loves.
Also, my brain runs at about 0.8x, so everything you say seems slower. All of you. So, actually, there was one thing I was gonna sort of rave about this the other day because I try and do this thing. Actually, this is really bad. When I was doing a talk last week at Laravel Live Denmark, and I went on stage and put my screen on as like the secondary screen, and I got QuickTime open, and I record so many like voice notes. I don't save them and I don't close them down. And somebody said, "Oh my God, what's all of this?" Because my screen was just filled with all of these QuickTime
little windows, little play buttons.
And it's because I do this. I like talk things out and record it to like QuickTime for some reason. Just as the quickest thing that I think of to do that. I don't know why. Anyway, but I saw a tweet the other day. I'm like, I want to talk about this, but then I talked myself out of it because I was just like, nah, I don't need to spend my energy. So maybe now is the time to talk
Bring
about
it.
it.
I'm so curious. You set this up. I want to know what you're going to talk about.
That's why we made this show.
Brilliant. This is for me. Yes. So there's this guy, Andrew Wilkinson. Do you know who I mean if I say Andrew Wilkinson?
Mr. Tiny.
Exactly. Tiny man. Very. I've listened to him speak so many times, and I'm like, gosh, I love the sound of your voice. And I just want to, you know, have you heard people with nice voices and you go, why can't I have a nice voice?
Freek van der Herten.
Yeah, great example. Anyway, he tweeted the other day, how to become a millionaire. Well, actually, no, this was a retweet that he did of a tweet from months ago. I'm looking at it right now. It says, how to become a millionaire. Hire smart people, pay them well, leave them alone. What do you all think about that?
That is a great question.
That's a great question.
I agree. because a little bit of recency bias actually on this. So the company that I work for, Crunchy Data, used this model where the idea was we are not going to hire that many people, but everyone that we hire needs to be somebody who is very senior and is capable of not only like taking care of tasks, but also being the ones to plan and decide what needs to be going into the product, what needs to be done to like add features to products. We don't need other people doing strategy and then these people doing like development, etc., that kind of thing. It was all just the people who built it were the same people who strategized because we were also senior and domain experts, and we were left to do that. We didn't have a lot of oversight, and in our case, it worked very well. We were acquired this last summer, and we were like they were surprised at how small our team was, who worked on the feature that they like the cloud features that they were actually wanting to acquire. It was like a shock that we were so small. And then as we have entered into the new company, like the velocity, our ability to push and do things has not changed. Like we are still those people, and like we are receiving like, once again, like people are shocked at how much we do in a short period of time because we have that. We've just been like put in this position to expect like no one's going to do this for me. I'm going to be left alone because I'm trusted to do something. So I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to wait for somebody to say, hey, I went and got approval for all these things for you. You know, like, and I think I that's my recency bias. So I think that is like very true, because I think the people who are capable of doing that are also the people who crave that. And as soon as you take away that agency from them, like I can tell you, like that was like a concern of mine going through all this, was like, will I lose my agency to like help make decisions and to feel like I'm creating impact in my daily work? Like the people who are good want impact. Yes, they want to get paid well. Yes, they want to work on like interesting problems, but like they want to feel like what they're capable of is like being fully utilized. So I agree with it personally.
Yeah. So like I think you're sort of focusing on the second half of the tweet, you know, which is basically like the autonomy of the people who you hire. But the kind of premise of the tweet is how to become a millionaire. And that's like,
LOL.
yeah, no, it's fine. So I did this same thing. I was looking at the thing.
Tells you that I'm not a millionaire on that one. I'm the one the millionaires are hiring.
Right.
That's news
And
to me.
I'm like, okay.
Guess, when we got acquired, guess who made the millions? Not me. I'm dying.
This guy who's obviously he's been very successful. You know, I mean, I think he's a billionaire now.
Yeah.
And he's come out
crazy
this message. Yeah, no, and for good reason. He works really hard, and you know, he's put in
smart
all of that
acquisitions,
effort,
doing exactly this.
And this is kind of like his pithy playbook for, you know, how to get to the next level of like what most people are at, right?
Right.
And it's hire smart people, let them, you know, work, basically let them get on with it and leave them to it. And I'm like, so my thought was, but how do you hire smart people?
I've heard this phrased another way, which is like, there's this idea of like hiring smart people. Another way I think people like talk about the same concept is changing your perspective from being somebody who allocates time to somebody who allocates capital. Like instead of allocating your own personal expertise and talent, like you should think of like your resource as like your funds, your money, and you can get all of your time back by just allocating money the right ways to scale what is not scalable. Your time is not scalable. Money can be, if invested correctly. Is like, I think, another way of kind of phrasing the same thing. What were you about to say, Josh?
Yeah, I think I kind of am coming at it from like two standpoints. One, Jason even mentioned this, like the product needs to be solid. So I think there's a few extra steps, and I haven't been. It's like, oh yeah, hire smart people even if you have a terrible product, and you probably still could be a millionaire if you're smart enough and you hire smart enough people. So there probably is that caveat. But I think there's like kind of twofold to this too. The product is one thing, but then how do you define smart at that standpoint too? If I'm thinking about it, and we can like, I'll bring this full circle here in a little bit too. But if I'm thinking about it from a standpoint of myself on the Laravel team, almost everyone, actually, like I would say there's very few, if not no one, who has joined Laravel has not been like, oh, I didn't know about Laravel before this kind of thing, because it is something that has been. They are smart people who are also incredibly passionate about already doing the work that they are going to be paid to do. And now it's just accelerated because of being paid to do it. And so I think, and again, I haven't heard Andrew Wilkinson talk more about expanding upon this, but I think there's some element to knowing that I am not just paying smart people. I'm paying smart people in the context of what I need to be able to become a millionaire. So I'm paying smart people who are also like on this journey to succeed in the way that I want to succeed. Like, there's a reason why, Shane, you are now working with Simon, is because you had like that same passion, that same outcome and output energy. And, there's a reason why we use AI, because even though it's smart and you're hiring a smart person, technically, you are also forced to then try this AI as a tool to make it work for the output that you're expecting. And so I think that it's less to me about hiring just smart people or just getting smart people on your side, and more about finding that goal and outcome first, and then getting the people alongside you.
What's interesting with Andrew Wilkinson's thing specifically is that he is a private equity firm. So like, I think some important context for his thing is that his idea of hiring smart people is finding a product that is already proven that it works, and
AKA,
then hiring, finding mixed into one, the smart person who can operate that thing at a next level. So it's like, hey, let's find things that we know are working, and let's hire people who have proven themselves in that. But like, there's a very narrow playbook of like, we're gonna find this deodorant company who is like doing very well, but it's being run by somebody who's a first-time founder, so we're going to buy their thing from them, and we're going to bring in somebody who is like extremely good at consumer goods and operating a consumer goods business and like supply chain and distribution, and we are going to put them at the ship of this thing that has already got traction, and they are going to be able to like scale it to the next level, which is, I think, different than like, hey, I started my own company and now I want to like hire smart people to like take tasks off my plate, which I think is like also important but different. I don't know. What are y'all thinking about it?
To me, I think it boils down to like accepting delegation as part of that's how we can leverage, right? That's how we get to I think he said billion, right? With the B's. That's not just making some millions. I'd be surprised if there are any billionaires that have not hired people, period. So I think that's probably a true statement, right? And I think that's a glimpse into like the kind of mindset. It's a very short sentence, right? This is how you do it, period, full stop. So I think that it gets the point across, it gets you to start to think in the right direction of how do I delegate? And my first thought was like, hire people for what? What if you don't even have a product, right? Same kind of thing. Like, what if you have nothing? I'm going to hire people to do what?
Right.
And how do I afford hiring people if I don't have a business? And like, so some people that are not even,
on the
they don't even have a company, right? They're not even, but his audience is probably the entrepreneurs anyway, I would imagine.
Right.
So
Yeah,
like he
yeah,
knows who he's talking to. So
Yep.
yeah.
This is really funny to me. Like, I hear stuff like that and I rail against it internally, because it's like, I do understand that if you want to be the kind of person who makes a bunch of money, like generational type money, this is the path that you have to take. But personally, I always question, like, do I even care? Like, when I see stuff like that, it's like, do I want to? Do I really want to do that? Because like a lot of times that doesn't mean it's your place of like feeling fulfilled, because I am a very creative person. And the
Getting
idea of, yay, I made a lot of money, but now I don't do anything other than like I have a portfolio of things that other smart people do. It's like,
Scrooge
I
with
have
the
money and now I can do
gold
whatever I want. But like
swimming pool.
maybe whatever I wanted to do was the thing that I hired all these people to do. And now I don't. Now it's like I've created this machine of my own unhappiness, like.
And plus, Will, we know that you can't be a parent and have generational wealth. So
Also true. Throw back to last week's episode.
go back to last week.
That's right.
For
Dare
those who
you
don't
have
know.
children and expect to make money?
That oh good.
No, I was just gonna say, like, if you had another thing to comment on, Shane, but I was going to say if that transitioned well to anything that you've been thinking about, but in the sense of, like, what does, the value of you working on what you're working on currently and what to work on in the future, why?
That is so. That's why I said that's deep, because these are the exact thoughts that I've going back to my 6 months on the couch kind of thing, right? Like I got to a point where I was actually even kind of stuck in the few months after that. I wanted to vision board. I wanted to get. There's a saying that I always say this: nothing exists in the world that didn't first exist in the mind. And until you can get it out of your head and into the physical world, then you can start iterating and building into something. I mean, obviously nature and rivers and stuff like that. There you go. No distractions.
Does everybody keep
but like
on the hat swaps?
But that's like,
love that saying though.
Nothing. Yeah, right. So like no house, no car, no anything first had to exist in the mind. Very few things come across on accident. So for me, getting it out of my head and trying to identify what it is that I really, really, really want, then write it down on a notepad. And then iterate from there. It can go into like, I can get an AI picture. I can imagine myself doing it. I can start to figure out the cost of doing whatever that is, right? Like, what is it going to take for me to accomplish this? And you can go through that a few times before you realize, like, maybe that's not actually what I want. Like, maybe I don't want money. I want the things that I can do with the money, right? So really identify what are those things that you want. It's not about having $1 billion in the bank. What good does that do anybody? It's you spending it on what? Spending your time using it for what? Is it really, most people really say that they want to be rich. What they really want is security. What they really want is to not have to worry. They don't want to have to listen or answer to anybody in a position above them. And so there's a little bit of rebelliousness there. And so identify that, right? Go into that. Why are you rebellious? Why don't you want to listen to other people? Like, so this can go very, very like even deeper into some of these other.
We need to do this on our show, Josh.
Talking.
Look, this is what we're here for. We found it. We're pulling the thread. No, I feel very strongly about this too. And like what I find is a big trap that you're kind of bringing to the forefront. Like I fall into this trap a lot where, and I hear some people say that it's like an ADHD thing. But you get this thing where like you plan how to do something and you plan this like whole idea for like, oh, I want to do this thing. Let me plan how I would do it. Let me think through every step. Let me think of what that looks like. But all you're doing is like thinking about it and planning it. And you get like this chemical, like dopamine type rush from having planned a thing and having done nothing. And you feel like you've accomplished something and then you never actually do anything as a result. And I heard this a while back, and this is like changed. I actually got this. So this is an Ugmonk product. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Ugmonk. but
Oh yeah.
it is a fantastic. It's like a American company. He does like really good design, but he has this system where it's these little cards, and you write one every day where you just sit down and you write your tasks for the day. And they've got these ones that are like tomorrow. They've got ones for like next week, someday, like all these things where it's this exact, and it's on this little tray where it props up in front of you and you just stare at it all day. And then it's got this other awesome thing, which is this, where you can keep track of all the ones that you've done. And so this is like a history of all the things for every day. And I love this. Like,
That's
it
cool.
has gotten me so out of my head on things, because it's like, okay, quit planning the thing and write down what you're going to do to like make progress on it. And if it wasn't important enough to write down on the card, then like move on. And like
You
that
can tell you have an industrial design background.
Oh, I'm so excited about this 3D
It can't
print I
just
got
be
for
a
that exact
notepad
reason.
with
No,
like
it's
that
not.
I
It's not
pin
just
on
a
a
piece of
board.
No, absolutely not. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness! All
Post-it
this
notes
3D
or
printing
something.
stuff has like scratched. I started like I got off of like TikTok and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, but now with like the 3D printing stuff, I've like slowly found my way back onto them. And all these new accounts. There's this company called Craig Hill. Y'all are probably not into this the same way that I am, but I'm going to share it anyway. There's this company called Craig Hill. They're based out of Brooklyn, New York. And on their Instagram channel, they talk about all of the decision making in like the design of their products. And they're not these complicated, crazy products. Like one of them is literally like a keychain. And they talk about, you know how like on these keychains, there's these rings where it's like they overlap and you've got to like wedge your fingernail into it to like pry it apart to put a key onto it. And so one of their videos, and I saw this, I was like, instant follow. They were talking about how like they designed like a key ring holder, and they put a tab on it where it like it has the loop, and then one piece of metal just sticks out a little further so that it's just effortlessly easy to just kind of pull it open a little bit, put the ring on. And it's just like those tiny like product details like that. So good. I was just like immediately like, I'm so glad that I'm getting back into this stuff. There was a reason I went to college for this. I got just so far away and put all this in intense thought into digital
So
experiences.
are you gonna try to build things like this, or are you gonna hire people to build things like this?
LOL.
You gonna be a millionaire or a
If
billionaire?
I want to be a millionaire, yes. No, I don't.
Billionaire.
I want to be a creative person for now. So I will be making all of them myself.
There you go.
First, I was telling Josh about this. My first project I've got, which I'm not allowed to do this until I finish the cottage in our backyard.
I was gonna ask if you finished the cottages.
I am this. I like spent like the entire last week on it. Allie's like, of course, you get a 3D printer and we make one roll, and suddenly you're like working on it every single day. Like,
right.
yeah. I can't.
That's how to motivate us creative folks.
Yeah, exactly.
Last minute efforts.
Tell me I can't do some creative fun thing, and I'll finish other unfinished projects. So I got like this like a little Raspberry Pi thing, and what I'm gonna do is put they call it a personal internet on it, where it's like it is only available if you connect to the Wi-Fi that this device is putting out, and it's got like one website on it. So you can only visit this website if you see me in person. And I'm going to have it to where like you get a collectible of some kind if you see me in person. So you can like prove like, oh, hey, I saw
That's
Will.
genius.
And like at each event, I'll like change what the collectible is. So like if I see you at Laracon 2025, and then I see you at like, I don't know, y'all are Laravel people. Let's say I like went to the live London one, the UK one, and like I saw you there, you'd get like a new collectible, like a patch or I don't know what it's going to be yet, but it's going to be something cool and it's going to be collectible. And I just thought, I was like, this just feels like such a fun little like project. And then I'm going to 3D print this like super cool enclosure for all of it.
Yeah, I told him this last time. He's basically just reinventing NFTs at this point.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep.
Crypto
Yeah,
from
from
first
Will Coin or something like that.
Yeah.
ERC 721, baby.
Yeah, King Coin 001.
There we go.
All right, Shane, Well, what is something that's been on your mind, or like a link, or what's top of mind for you?
All right. So
What you wanna riff
I
on?
don't
Crazy
do
programs.
anything but work.
That's
Recently.
fine. That's what
So
we do.
I have
That's not
so
true. I know of at least 3 other things that you do.
Ooh, spill now
Ooh,
immediately.
okay.
Don't let him finish.
Called
Go.
out.
tell me. Come on.
Eating,
What are they?
sleeping, and pooping.
Ah, I got him.
There you go.
Actually, I
Which
Which
have
one
of
of
those
those do you want to talk
Oh,
about?
no.
Not sleeping. We can talk about sleep token. How about that? No, I'm
There
just
you
kidding.
go.
That'd be a different
That's-
podcast.
Different shit. right
Um,
there.
So so two things, like I have a lot of hobbies, and I realized this several years ago, and I have not gotten to my biggest passion in many months, and I still don't have any plans to yet, but it's been weighing on me more. I'm a pilot. I'm an instrument rated pilot, and I like to fly airplanes, and I haven't flown since like January, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
So my currency has lapsed. So I have to, if I want to take passengers,
Mhm.
actually, if I want to fly at all legally, then I have to go through and go with an instructor for a couple hours. And I have to practice before that a few times and
Mhm.
get my currency back. And then I can go up and buzz around a bit. But it's like, yeah, I miss it. And I want to get back up there. So
Okay. How long does it take to become like to get that in the first place?
that is a potentially deadly question, and it's one that I asked a lot initially too. So, what if you're do you want to be a pilot soon, or do you want to be a pilot for a long time?
I'm
That's
not allowed
really
to
the-
ever be a pilot.
Right.
That is one thing my wife told me. She's like, Will, no matter what, you are not allowed to be in small planes.
Oh,
Too many
well.
stories. And I'm like, fair enough. I think I can mark that one off my hobby list.
It's
But
always Flight
I'm just-
Simulator.
there we go.
Yeah.
Flight simulator.
There you
There it
go.
is.
it took me 5 months. 1 month of that I had COVID, so I mean I did it in 4 months. You can do it faster than that, but I don't. There was a point when I was like, I mean, I started in like May, and I wanted to fly my family to Florida in July, and
Okay.
my instructor was like, "There's no way you're going to be ever ready in 2 months to go. Like that's
Right.
not possible, like not safely." And he was a dad, I'm a dad. Like there was all
Right,
this
right.
whole like, my job is to keep you safe and learning, right? Not to put you in situations. And so like I got to a point where I was like, I don't care if it took me 5 years to get my license, as long as I'm safe and I'm doing it safely. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just a lot of thought that goes into that. Now, instrument rating, I did that pretty quickly. I went through like a instrument expedited, whatever. It was like IFR 6 is what it's called. And it's in Charleston, South Carolina. So in 6 days, I was up at like 6 a.m. From 6 a.m. till noon, you're in the simulator. They have like an FAA rated simulator that the hours in that count for your all the stuff that you need. And then you have an hour for lunch, and then from 1 until like 10 o'clock at night, you're in the real plane practicing the same stuff 6 days in a row. And at the end, you take the test, the check ride, and you pass or you fail, and that's up to you. But so that was really, really fun. I almost quit like the
Sounds
first
like
5
like
days.
summer camp, you know.
Well, it's
adult summer camp.
they say it's like drinking from a fire hose, and that could not be more true. Like it was just so much. My head split. It was just
Okay.
like way too much at one time, and
That made me think of something. I'm a cross. My wife tells me, cross your fingers. I'm gonna come back to this.
to
Keep
remember.
going. Yes.
I do that when I see a cop going by me and I feel like I was doing something like speeding too much. I just cross my fingers. I'm like, oh. And then I see that he keeps going. I uncross my fingers.
Yeah.
Slow down a little bit. And
It works. That's what that means.
So flying is fun. The 3D printing, that's fun to just hit play and create stuff. But lately, I've just been on Bifrost. As you know, this was going to come up at some point, but we started doing pre-sales a little bit over a month ago. And so we want to honor the people that have already given us money, and we got to get the product out. And
Yeah.
so we've been beta testing this week and found some more bugs, and probably another wave of that over the next few days of more beta testers, because I fixed a lot of these things and getting it ready. We have a date kind of in mind, but I don't know. Can we say it? Can we say the date?
How long is how long are we talking here?
Yeah, can we?
It's going to be
pressure you into-
January. No.
2027 actually.
27.
Wait,
Ideally,
next month is January.
we're looking right now. It's penciled in, and it can go. If it's going to go anywhere, it's going to be a little bit later. But September 9th. September 9th is what we're tentatively looking at releasing. So we're going to discuss that a little bit more over the next few days. We'll have it, solid. So
well, this sounds dope because with that personal internet thing that I was talking about, there's got to be some way for people to like collect said things. And I was like, I need to have like a phone experience. And I was like, I could build the back end and the mobile, like it could be all Laravel, everything.
All right, you're gonna get me excited now. So here's the cool thing. This is the cool thing I just did. All right.
Ooh.
So this is what gets me excited because I'm in work mode. So I don't know if you saw. Well, if you weren't at all at Laravel Live in Denmark, then you wouldn't know because we didn't publish the video. Nope. But I created a video that Simon shared with everybody. I'm the a leader in my son's Boy Scouts, and this year I am the popcorn colonel. So it's my responsibility to manage all the sales for the popcorn for the fundraiser, right? So I'm putting together. They just switched companies. The old company that they used to use it was a tech company that sold popcorn. Now they have a popcorn company that doesn't do any tech. So there's no app, right? They sell tech. Great. Popcorn is better. It is better actually, and it's cheaper. So that's better. So I'm putting together an app for kids to be able to go door to door and place the order.
That's awesome.
And it will hit the back end, an API server in the back end that will, because we're not going to take payments in the app directly. We'll have the customer, we'll send them a text or we'll just give a QR code on the kid's phone and they can scan that and they can pay. And then the kid will get a push notification. They can keep track of all their sales. And we'll be able to manage like, where do you deliver how many products? And I can manage all that stuff from the back end. So, just started. Two cool things. One, I've never played with Saloon before. I saw someone was talking about it recently.
Tell me about Saloon. I'm not. Saloon. Josh is probably familiar. I am not.
Saloon's an API kind of wrapper. It's like it's a way to make all of your requests and connections to third-party APIs all kind of class-based. So if I have a single request that goes off and gets orders for this kid, for this Boy Scout, that's like a whole class that will manage that request. So it's kind of like DTOing a little bit, like your requests and your responses for integrations. So it's your connector like is a
SDK builder.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope. I like that.
And it's been cool. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but not really. So that's been fun. And then the other thing I did for the first time, I don't know why I hadn't thought of this, but it's like, why couldn't you do this? So the way NativePHP works, it's a Laravel application. You run a couple commands and it will boot up on your phone, on a simulator, emulator, or on your phone directly. Why not have the API backend in the same repository? So I just kind of like started playing with that. So locally, while I'm developing, I have ngrok running and I'm hitting that from the actual device because I can ADB. It's called ADB when you plug your Android phone in, or you can do it from the iOS too. And it's hitting ngrok, which is forwarding the request to my local server for an API. And then using Bifrost, all I have to do is add the env key in the Bifrost service. And when I push to deploy, I'm deploying the API. The whole repo goes, but the API goes to Forge. I have an endpoint now that I put into Bifrost. I deploy my app, the same repo, to the app stores and download on the app stores. And I'm hitting my Forge from the same repo. I'm hitting my Forge. And it all works. I just got like authenticated requests passing through all the way to the
it was awesome
to the kernel app. So
I'm gonna tuck this one back away for a minute. This one, I have a very strong opinion that if you are a builder of technology and you are not building something with your technology, you're not gonna be as good of technology as you could be. And I have seen this in action with the Laravel team. When they started building cloud is when they started pouring into inertia, because their whole stack is React, inertia, Laravel backend, and you can see that they ran into pain points and like weird edges of building a like full production, like
That's so
scalable
funny.
app on it. And you can tell how, like, you can tell by the type of features that they're like releasing and pushing out that it's like, oh, this was definitely something that was a pain point that they were doing with cloud. And so because they are the owners of the technologies, one, they acquired Inertia, you know, like this is ours now. And then like they are pushing out all these fixes because they like, it's their technology, they're building on that technology. And now it's like,
they're finding the spots.
Like yeah.
I think I've pushed out like probably 30 releases since I started working on Bifrost. Because we use our own package inside of Bifrost to do the builds, right? To do the actual build. I created the package to do that. So
I'm very bullish on, like, if you have a technology and you don't have a project using that technology, like you're missing out on a lot of, unless you just have like extremely involved community members. Like there's the path where you could do it that way, but like there's just no replacement for running into those edge cases yourself. That's why, this is maybe my favorite part of the whole episode is the happening in the bottom right.
You know, though, like you guys can't tell, but I've changed pants like 17 times. So.
You can't tell, but I've not been.
Joke's on you. I'm not wearing any.
I have a kind of along the same lines of like building for your own thing and then improving it. This was probably going to come up, but why, like, you started building native PHP, you're selling licenses. That's awesome. Obviously, you know that you need to make a living out of the stuff that you do. And then when did Bifrost come in? And then like a side note, you have like really fun plans in Bifrost. It's not just like starter and premium. You have was it Hela and
Hela
and Loki
and Thor.
Yeah,
man, gotta love some Norse mythology.
Which I'm learning as I go along too, because it was just kind of a cool idea, and I didn't really know anything about any of it. So I'm watching like some YouTube videos
as well.
Yeah, you know, just trying to mix a lot of things into this. Yeah, capitalism.
Bifrost, in some way, shape, or form, was around longer than native PHP. Actually, that was
Bifrost is a thing from the.
It's very old.
Man, that all makes sense now. Okay.
Yeah.
Things are connecting.
So that's a company. That's a company's name too. It's Bifrost Technology, it's LLC. So, it wasn't called Bifrost. It was originally called Zephyr, ZEPHPYR, and that was a, and it still is a build service for the desktop side. So if you have a Windows computer and trying to build for Mac, you can't do it. When I first started talking to Simon about all of this, year and a half ago, I guess, I was like, you got to have some kind of build service. So we knew, even like initially starting to sell licenses, there's only so many people that will buy, and those will only go so far, that we have to have, it's kind of like a forge service. Like the Windows developers that can't build iOS need to build iOS. Like we can do that. Let's do that. So that's my take on that. I think in some ways it's been around longer. Yeah.
As they say.
It's always been the plan. That's right.
Awesome. All right. I am headed off on vacation here in the next little bit. So why don't we, if that is okay with y'all,
hold hands and sing a song?
Yes. Let's wrap things up. Do y'all have anything else before we jump into what y'all have got coming up the next week?
That's good.
Perfect.
Nothing I can talk about publicly. No.
Oh, well, we'll wait until we're off the air.
Yeah,
Shane, what you up to next week?
Working.
Work.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get that kernel app done this weekend, and then back into Bifrost. Kind of the same time, to be honest. But yeah.
Simon.
Same. All hands to the mill on Bifrost. I'm doing.
Nice.
I think documentation,
Docs,
a bunch of
the
marketing
worst part
prep,
of launching anything.
videos. The hardest. The videos really hard, and I'm dragging because I'm so slow. But
can't imagine.
I am also doing a Laracasts course.
Ooh,
So
you are doing.
Okay.
You've got a lot of plates you're juggling there.
Yeah,
Simon.
it's basically done, but I'm like really bad at editing, so yeah, it's being edited. And
What did they say about hiring smart people? You can hire some smart
I
editors.
actually have,
Oh, really?
It's a very smart person who's much better at video editing than me.
You
Jack
should plug
McDade's
it.
brother.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
he's
nice.
exceptionally good, Joseph McDade, and he is doing an incredible job. But I'm so slow. I'm holding him up, so that's just my bad.
I'm sure this is all sounding very familiar to Shane.
It's British after all. I would say you get used to it after a while, but you don't. You really don't.
Just comes with the territory.
Yeah.
All right, Josh. Other
This
than not remembering that Monday's a holiday.
this next week, I will probably. I don't know. I think everything is kind of done for the Laravel Learn. It's just kind of like wrapping up in a neat little bow and putting things on top. And so that's kind of what I'll probably be doing.
10%.
Yep, exactly. And then personally next week, I have a I'm wanting. I kind of mentioned that I probably wouldn't get to it last week over the next week, but I am wanting to with the start of September go for 30 days of every single morning. I just record a quick little 5-minute my version of notes on work.
Yeah.
Of like what's top of mind for me, and I'm not gonna be as articulate as Caleb.
Is he
but my
articulate?
goal-
Man, there's some of those where you're just like, yeah, you just woke up and you
Along for the
you're
ride.
like, I have to get this off my chest.
but you keep listening though to see if
Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
like if
Because
I was
those are the best episodes. That's what you
Yeah.
should realize. The
if
best
I was
episodes
struggling like
left
that, you would just turn it off. Like if I was like,
absolutely not. No.
let me pour
People-
some tea here.
People want real. People want real. They want connection. They don't want something that's like rehearsed or.
Yeah.
I mean, some things like if you're paying for something where you're going to hopefully like learn, like, yeah, you hope they rehearsed a little bit and it's like well put together. But like if people are just like listening to something like that, they're listening because one, they like you, two, they want to hear like your perspective on things, not your like polished perspective, like your actual thoughts. It's a lot more valuable.
So I want to do it for 30 days, even on the weekends, and just see what happens. But then also I like starting new things, and even if it doesn't stick with, even if I don't stick with it after 30 days, that's my goal.
I like that. Me and my wife did something like that at the start of this last year, where we did we called it there's like the 75 hard challenge.
Oh yeah.
We called it 25 medium. where we just came up with our own like set of like rules of like some health conscious things that we did, and we stuck with it. It was really fun. Next week I have to I signed myself up for more work before the conference. It seems to be a thing that we all have in common. I got asked by the organizer. He's doing like this like AI panel at this conference, ValioCon, that I'm going to next month and speaking at. He's like, I am doing this AI panel where I want people to like demo like an actual workflow that they do with AI. And so I was like, I'd be happy to. And I had no idea what I'd do, but I was like, if there's more opportunity to like be like a part of something at the conference, I'm going to do it. And so next week I decided to do like my newsletter workflow for our show, Riff and Refine. We put out a newsletter that's like a recap of the show and the links and the things that everybody shared, because like it's a live show. Not everyone can make it, and not everybody wants to sit and watch the video back over. So I make it like digestible newsletter. You can go to riffandrefine.fm and get on that email newsletter list, by the way. But I've been doing it all very manually. And so like, I was like, well, this is like the perfect,
There you go.
This is the perfect time to like automate it. And so I'm creating like a CLI app for being able to like paste in the YouTube video after we like finish up the live, and it will pull the audio, do the way that I did it, I was like, I transcript the audio and then I plug the transcript into AI with a template, and like past examples of the newsletter to like put out a draft of what the new newsletter should be. And then I just do some small edits, and then I manually put it into Bento, which is our email provider. And all of these things have APIs. So there's like zero reason why I can't just like have a command line where I give it the YouTube URL and it does everything for me. So
well, then you open up the front end and make it a SaaS.
There we go. We'll see.
And
we'll see how it lands. We'll see how people like it at the conference. But I was like, this feels
you
like
make a mobile app.
and
You allow people to do
Now
the same thing with their own podcast video.
Yes. So capitalism. That's
Capitalism.
next week.
Yeah, the goal of what you're trying to do is basically what the native PHP boys have already done. Doing something that everyone said, why would you do that?
Yes. Why? That is a good way to wrap this up. Do things that you want to do. Doesn't matter if people care. Other people understand.
All right, Shane, Simon, where can we find more about you and do a little plug? What's the best way to get started with native PHP?
Ooh, for sure, Bifrost. So you can go to nativephp.com and you can buy a license for as low as $50. It goes up from there. Or you can go to bifrost.nativephp.com, and for as little as $9 a month, you can get a license for free. And then you also have you're grandfathered into our early pricing. And so that price will never change. A lot of people have started at $9 and then they're seeing that actually Hella or Thor is really what they want, because the smaller one is just for one app. And so before
as you get that hit of being able to make your first mobile app, all you want to do is make mobile apps. I can feel it.
That's right. And not just making them, getting them in the app stores, getting them out to people. The distribution for both the Play Store is crazy, and the app store is like it's amazing. So yeah,
this is gonna be awesome.
That's what I would say.
So I like the design of the page. BT dubs. I like the little like starfall looking things.
Thank you. I spent a lot of time on that. Actually,
those are the only things not AI right there.
No, it was.
Sucks at those kind of things.
No, it was. Actually,
really?
Yeah, it still took a long time. That's what. Yeah, it
took a long time.
A lot of credits. A lot of credits.
What about you, Simon? What's your pitch?
I mean, I can't pitch anything different because that would be going against the business. So, capitalism. Yeah. So all I will add.
If you want me to do more courses and not Bifrost, hit me up.
All I'll add is follow at NativePHP on Twitter and sign up to the newsletter as well, because there'll be special things coming out on the newsletter, so you can get to that on nativephp.com.
Perfect. Appreciate you,
Fantastic.
fellas. That was a great show. Loved having y'all on. Next time, I will aspire to have as many hat changes as Simon.
You've been wearing the same hat for at least a month.
At least. You want to know why? Look at this.
Because it's the greatest hat ever.
It is the greatest hat. Best dad.
Oh,
Greatest hat of all time. It is literally, I was telling my wife this the other day. I was like, I'm pretty sure this is my most prized possession. Like, if our house is burning down, first I will get all of you out. But then I'm making sure this hat also makes it out. And that is all I care about.
You'd be sleeping with it on anyway.
Yeah,
just
you
would be wearing it.
Awesome. Well, hey, thanks everyone in the chat for joining us for this fantastic episode with the native PHP boys, the SNS of PHP. But hopefully we'll see you all next week.
All right. Bye.
Have a good one.